Hello and welcome. My name is Jocelyn and today we are doing a product review video, a follow-up on some hauls that I've done this year and products that maybe I've done mini reviews on, but maybe not, and so I wanted to accumulate some of the purchases, mostly if not all from VIB sales either this fall, or I guess it was at the end of summer, or the one at the beginning of the year in the spring that I never really followed up on. One of the reasons for that is that there was a couple products that I hadn't really been using yet, some skincare items that I hadn't broken into yet that I have now broken into, and then there are a handful of things that I haven't really used. Well, that I have, but like maybe once or twice, and that's, I kind of think, kind of important to touch on also, because maybe it wasn't the best idea for me to have purchased those things because I'm not getting very good use out of them. A lot of these items are things that I really love and have been enjoying. A handful of things, again, that I haven't really been using or haven't loved totally. Let's go ahead and get started. Most of the things are from, well, it's probably about half and half. Some things from this most recent, some things from the beginning of the year. Actually, maybe quite a few things from the beginning of the year. So the first skincare item is a cleansing balm. This is the Drunk Elephant Slaai Makeup Melting Butter Cleanser. This is, I think, a new launch as of this year, and I did pick this up during the spring Sephora VIB sale for 20% off. I think it retails for $34, which is on par with the cleansing balm that I was using before this one, which was the Farmacy Green Clean Makeup Melt Away Cleansing Balm, and I really liked that one. I repurchased it quite a few times, but I think I like this one more because I found that with the Youth to the People cleansing balm, I couldn't use it to take off my eye makeup because every time I would use it on my eye area, it would get into my eye and onto my contact, and then I'd have to take my contacts out. So if I was still going to be up for a few hours after taking my makeup off, then I don't always want to take my contacts out and put my glasses on. And I did it every single time, but this does not do that. I don't know what the difference is, but this does not get on my contact when I use it on my eyes. It takes off my eye makeup really well and my face makeup really well. It doesn't irritate my skin. I do have oily, acne prone skin, and I really like this stuff a lot. Let me open it up. You can see how far I am in this, which is actually, I'm definitely over halfway done with this cleansing balm, and I will definitely repurchase it at some point. There's another one by another brand that's a little less expensive that I might try out, but this one I really do enjoy and would definitely consider repurchasing. Let's move on to a makeup item. This was something else that I picked up during the spring VIB sale, and it is a foundation. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Water Foundation. As I mentioned, I have oily skin, and I think I've mentioned this a few times throughout the year on my channel, but I thought I'd do an official roundout. I'm actually almost done with this foundation, I want to say. I can't really see through the packaging, but there's definitely less than half, maybe a quarter left in here, I would venture to guess. And I don't know if I would consider it my absolute favorite, because some days, yes, it wears really well on my skin. If I'm having an extra oily day, it doesn't wear as well. Like my oils break through pretty significantly. But on days when I want a little bit less coverage, I want to look a little extra dewy, not matte or cakey at all. Not that I ever want to look cakey, but if I want something a little less full coverage, then I'll often reach for this one, and I really like it. I think it works really well. I like it better during the summer, especially because this has SPF in it. So I really enjoy it. Mine does come with a dropper. I've heard that with other shades it doesn't, which is odd. I find that extremely odd that all of them wouldn't come with a dropper, because I use the dropper every single time. And if you don't have the dropper, that means you have to like dump it out onto your hand. But I really like this for my skin. I think it works really well. If you like something that's super full coverage and matte-ish and stays in place all day and doesn't budge, this isn't the one for you. I would say this is more of a medium coverage foundation that is definitely more on the dewy side. We'll move on to another skincare item, and this is something I've talked about on my channel before, but I hadn't purchased it in a long time prior to the spring VIB sale because of the price, and it is the Sunday Riley Martian Mattifying Melting Water Gel Toner. So I had bought it a couple years ago, really loved it, but didn't repurchase it because this guy is $55, and finally saved up enough money and gift cards to repurchase it during the spring VIB sale, and sure enough, I still really like it. I do have like this much left, and I stopped using it and started using another toner just so I could kind of savor this a little bit longer. I probably won't repurchase it for a while just because I do have a couple toners that I've got in my bathroom right now to use, and I don't want to overload myself on toners because, you know, they go bad and it takes a little while to go through a toner. But I could see myself picking this up again at some point in the future just because it does work really well for me. I'll read the little description here. Instantly transforms from a cooling gel to a water toner as it clarifies, removes oil, and visibly tightens pores for clear, matte skin. I agree with all of those claims, and I see those claims on my face when I use this toner. It does kind of seem to keep my oils at bay a bit more, and my skin just looks and feels clearer and clean and good after I've used this toner. So, little update for you with that skincare item. I do still really enjoy it, unfortunately, because it's kind of expensive. Ooh, let's move on to actually, I have two highlighters to talk about. So I bought, I think, only these two highlighters this year. I bought the Fenty Killawatt highlighter in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal, and I also bought the Natasha Denona Super Glow highlighter. This one I bought during the spring VIB sale, and then this one I bought during the end of summer VIB sale, or just sale. I'm not really sure. Sephora sales. I really love both of these. Let's talk about the Fenty Beauty one first. We do have two shades in here. We have the one on the right, which is Fire Crystal, and then the one on the left, which is Lightning Dust. Fire Crystal is a little pinkier and has a little bit, let me swatch them for you actually, might as well. So I'm not sure how well those are gonna pick up, but Fire Crystal is right here. You can see it's a little bit more shimmery, it has a little bit more shine, and then Lightning Dust is a little bit more sheer, not quite as shiny as Fire Crystal. I'm not sure if I said those names correctly, but Fire Crystal is a little pinker, a little bit more shiny, and then Lightning Dust is a little more gold toned and a little bit less glittery. Not that really either one of them are glittery. I really like both of them. They're a little more subdued than the Natasha Denona highlighter, so if you like things that are a little less wabam in your face, then this is a good option. And you get two tones in here, which I really like. This wouldn't, I don't think, be good for medium to dark skin tones, but light skin tones, fair skin tones, this is definitely a good option for you. But don't fret, my deeper skinned friends. She has lots of different options for different skin tones in her line. And then the Natasha Denona highlighter is much more shiny. You get a lot of bang on the cheeks. If you don't like a blinding highlight, this is probably not the one for you. It is, as it says, a super glow highlighter. Let me swatch it here for you. I don't know how well that's gonna pick up. I mean, you can see it on my finger right there. It is a very glowy highlight, and I really like that. Recently, when I've been putting highlight on, I've been diffusing it with my beauty blender. So I'll put the highlight on and then I'll just kind of dab over it with my beauty blender to kind of diffuse it a little bit and just kind of help it melt into the skin. So if you have a highlighter that's a little too extreme for you, I would recommend doing something like that. But this is definitely, I'm really happy that I got this. I really like this. Let's move on to a cleanser. So I bought two cleansers, I believe. Yeah, both of these were bought at the spring VIB sale. The first was the Farmacy Clean Bee Ultra Gentle Facial Cleanser. You can see that I've used up almost half, and I was using this recently. The reason that it took me so long to do this follow-up review haul thing is because I was using up other cleansers and hadn't gotten to use this one yet. So I have been using this for the last about month and a half perhaps it's been, and I thought I was really liking it. And then I went on vacation and I used a different cleanser that I'm gonna talk about in a second. Then I came back and used this one, and I realized that this one wasn't working as well as I thought it was, because when I used the other one, I could tell that I wasn't getting as many little breakouts here and there, and my skin just looked better, which was really disappointing because I did like this and I think it worked meh, but it didn't work well for me, for my skin type. This is an ultra gentle facial cleanser, which might be my problem. I need something a little more heavy duty, so I might end up passing this along to another friend. Maybe I'll put it in my shower actually, now that I think about it, because running low on facial cleansers for the shower, so I might use it in the shower. That's a good alternative because I did spend my money on it. I think it might have been in the low $30 or high 20s. I cannot remember. It was in the spring, so it's been a few months since I purchased this, and so it worked okay. I think if you don't need something super heavy duty, this might be a good option for you. It just wasn't a great option for me. It just didn't do enough for my skin. Now, the cleanser that I was referring to that I noticed was working really well for my skin, and this is a cleanser that I've used before, but I purchased a travel size of during the spring VIB sale. The text on this has rubbed off, but it is the Youth to the People. Okay, I'm gonna need to look this up because it's completely worn away. Yes, okay, so this is the Youth to the People Superfood Antioxidant Cleanser. So it has kale and green tea spinach vitamins. It is a superfood cleanser. This size right here is only $10, and then they have an 8-ounce size that is $36. So I used this, the full size before, used it up, really liked it, and then I bought this one for traveling. I did break it on this last trip, so I've been using it as a daily cleanser, especially after I realized that this works a lot better for me than the other one. That kind of explains my feelings towards it. I really like this. I really want to get a full size of it, so I have that to use. I don't know what the difference between this and that other one is, but this one keeps mini breakouts and breakouts at bay, and it cleanses my skin really well, and it just works for my skin type. If you have oily, acne prone skin, this might be a good option for you. I have a couple of concealers to talk about. We'll talk about the one that I purchased first, and it is the Bare Minerals BARESKIN Complete Coverage Serum Concealer. I have mine in the shade Fair, and I really like this. It might be one of my favorite concealers ever. It doesn't crease super bad, but it's pretty full coverage, but also it doesn't get super cakey or heavy. Like the Tarte Shape Tape, for example, is a little too heavy coverage for me, a little too cakey under my eyes. I didn't really like it. This one was a pretty, I mean, maybe it's more medium to full coverage, probably more medium now that I think about it. It's not super full coverage. Like, I wouldn't recommend it for complete and total coverage if you have pretty bad blemishes, but it works pretty good for me, especially my under eyes, because I don't struggle with a lot of problems under my eyes, so I don't need a ton of coverage, and if I do put too much coverage on, it can get really heavy and cakey. So I've really been enjoying this. I think that I'm actually getting pretty close to used up with this concealer, and I would definitely consider repurchasing it, but there's a couple concealers that I have my eye on. Like, there's the new Urban Decay concealer that I have my eye on, and I think that there's a couple in the drugstore that I'm also interested in. So I might try some new ones out, but this is definitely one that I could see myself going back to because I really like it. And I also didn't notice any flashback with this one, which is pretty important, especially for under the eye area. Next is one that I bought during this most recent Sephora VIB sale or summer sale, whatever it was, and it is the RMS Beauty Uncover Up Concealer Foundation thing. I think it's a concealer. It's kind of a weird name for it, but I have mine in the shade 11.5. I've used this a fair amount. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that there is a dip in there. This was, I think, like $36 or something like that, which is pretty expensive. I've got it at a discount, so that was nice. And it seems to be lasting pretty well. I typically use this on days when I'm using a more lighter coverage foundation, and I dab this under the eyes. Sometimes I'll just use this if I want to dab a little bit under my eyes, and if I have any blemishes around the face and that's all I want to put on, then I'll use this, and I do really like it. I wouldn't necessarily say I love it, but I really enjoy using it and I really like it. I don't know that I would repurchase it because it was so expensive. I think it was $36. It was either $36 or $38 possibly. $36, it was $36. Okay, so yeah, I don't know that I would purchase it. I enjoy using it. I'm definitely gonna use it up, but I don't think I could recommend it for $36. It just didn't wow me that much. If it would have offered a little bit more coverage and stayed a little bit longer on the skin, then I think it could have been a real winner, and I might have been more tempted to pay another $36. Well, I guess I didn't pay $36 because I got a discount, but in that price range, I might be tempted to repurchase it, but I just don't think for that price range, I would repurchase it, but I'm gonna use it up and I'm gonna enjoy it because I do enjoy using it. So during this last VIB sale, I did buy 2 things from The Ordinary, and just in case anybody was waiting on a review of these, I just wanted to say real fast that I haven't used them as much as I had really wanted to in the last couple months. When was that sale? When did I make these purchases? August. So it looks like I got a lot of these things in the mail on the end of August. So it's been less than 2 months. So I don't feel too bad about not having a total review on these yet. I will say that I was enjoying this toner. This is the Glycolic Acid 7% Toning Solution. And I was using this. I mean, you can see that I have a little bit of a dent in this product. If I remember, I wish I would have used it last night so I could fully remember how I felt about it. I've been using another toner recently that I got in the mail. I want to say that I only used this at night because it left a little bit of a tacky residue on my skin, which isn't the worst thing, but that made me only want to use it at night so that I didn't use it during the day with, like, you know, makeup on top of it. But I'll have a more solid review of this in the future. I just want to let you know that I haven't used it a ton, but I was enjoying it when I was using it, but it did leave a little bit of a tacky residue. And then this other product, this is the Buffet Multi-Technology Peptide Serum. I've also been using this in okay amount. I don't know if you can tell, but I've used it down to here. I think I'm gonna start using this every morning because, again, for a while I was using a few other products that I had received in the mail recently, but I think that I'm gonna start circulating this in so that I use it every single morning after I cleanse and tone my face, just as a final kind of step before I put my makeup on. But I haven't noticed a difference with this yet. I did use it this morning before I put my makeup on, but again, I didn't really notice anything, and this might be one of those products where I just don't notice a difference. And if so, then I won't be repurchasing it. It wasn't that expensive. This might have been $14. Yeah, this was $14.80, and then that toner was $8.70, so a pretty good price. This though, again, I don't know. I haven't noticed any big difference yet, but time will tell. All right, I have kind of 3 more makeup items, and then we will wrap things up. These 2 I'm going to go ahead and talk about at the same time because they're basically the same thing, and it is the Kaja Moon Crystal shadows. I have a thing for fun gel and cream eyeshadows, and so I picked these up during the spring VIB sale. I have one in the shade Magic, that's the purple, kind of purple green duochrome, and then one in the shade Cosmic, which is like a blue with gold glitter inside. I've used this one once in a video, and I haven't ever used this one. That's disappointing. One thing, I really want to use this one, and maybe now that it's October, I'll find a way to use this, just because I got it in the spring, and then summer doesn't really feel like a dark tones. This one I definitely should have used in the summer, but I didn't. I did use this once for a video, and I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't super impressed with it. It was just kind of weird to use, and it didn't, I don't know. I need to practice with it more, maybe look up some tutorials to see how other people were using these, because I think that they have a lot of cool opportunities. This one looks really cool. It's got a really nice flip to it, so I'd really like to use it, but I haven't used them. Maybe I shouldn't have bought them, but I have them now, and I really need to use it so that I can, you know, get some use out of it, and then maybe decide I want it or don't want it. But I thought I'd update you, let you know that maybe this wasn't the best purchase of my life. Now that was kind of a low note, so let's end on a high note. During the spring VIB sale, I hauled an item that I didn't buy during the spring VIB sale, but I bought right before it, and it is a $129 product that I only spent $29 on because I used $100 for a gift card, and it is the Natasha Denona Gold palette. Now I've featured this on my channel a few times. I've talked about it a fair amount of times, and it is what I am wearing on my eyes today. This is what the inside looks like if you're not familiar, and I have been using this for the last week or so. I brought it back into my collection during my Shop My Stash, and I really like this. I really love these mattes, and I really love these shimmers. The shimmers are just so unique. I used for the first time these blue shadows yesterday and loved the way the look turned out. I was so happy with it. I really love this. Unfortunately, loving this so much over the last week made me want her other palettes. So, but I'm not ready to drop $129 on one of these. I definitely wouldn't have bought this for $129. No, not a chance. If you can get one at a discount, I would recommend them, but again, not for $129. I'll also mention, just in case you don't know, that she does have little mini palettes that are like 5 shades for a much lower price. I've heard that those can be a little hit and miss, so before you go out and buy one of those, make sure you read the reviews to find out if it's the same formula as her fuller sized palettes. But there's definitely some of those minis that I have my eye on. Like the gold palette she has in the minis, it has green shades in it, which I was all about and was really interested in, and she's got a bunch of those that I really like the color story in. So wanted to update you that I don't regret this purchase at all. I mean, I only spent $29 of my own money on it. All right, so I think that those are all of the products that I wanted to talk about and leave a mini review on and let you know what my follow-up thoughts are on to those haul videos. I'll definitely continue to do these in the future to keep you updated on my thoughts on certain items. We do have the fall VIB sale, I'm pretty sure right around the corner, so if you would like to see some wish lists, recommendations, and hauls for future videos from me, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of those. And again, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And I think that is everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.